Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Football Tribe UG channel. Robert Kesakos is your usual suspect. Welcome back to yet another live broadcast on your favorite football updates channel, the first of its kind today, because we were unable to do the broadcast during the day. So we are here to do it now. And I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everything is okay with you. I hope you've had a wonderful day. I hope you are enjoying the FIFA World Cup because earlier on we did witness Morocco thump Canada to go through 3-0 there. That's how they won. So, anyways, we'll be continuing the conversation. Hey, reluctant gamer, good to have you on the broadcast. I hope you've been okay. I hope you you've been enjoying yourself throughout the day. Anyways, for me, everything has been okay. Following last night's successful episodes, in which we discussed a lot of things. Those of you that were with us to keep us company, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So you'll indulge me just in a second. Was having our headlines updated. Let's see how France handle Paraguay. German couldn't do it. Indeed, German couldn't do it. Let's see if Kylian Mbappe can do better. And let's see if we can continue to chase down Lionel Messi in as far as the race for the Golden Boot goes. Maslow says, hello, I'm back. I'm sorry I was so busy. I was about to ask, how have you been? Where have you been? It's been, I think, more than a week or even more than 2 weeks. I stand to be corrected, but if it feels like it's been ages ever since you are last here with us. But I hope life has been kind to you while you are away from us. Anyways, I wish to send out my sincere special shout outs to all of you, the usual suspects, Sarayan, Reluctant Gamer, Epicando, Viola, people like Gladiator, all of you that, come and check on us. Miss Pedri the other day was here with us. Ash, oh my God, there's just lots of you out there that come and keep us company. Family and I also watched World Cup game. Okay, congratulations. That's beautiful. How was the experience for you? How was the experience for you? Anyways, so coming up next on the episode of the World Cup is France against Paraguay at the round of 16. The first game of the round of 16 ended in victory for the Moroccans with Onahi scoring Azedine Onahi scoring a brace in that one in the 50th minute and in the 82nd minute, while Sofian Rahimi scored the last goal of the game in the 8th minute of stoppage time to ensure or to see Morocco win the game by 3-0 as they advanced to the quarterfinals, in which they'll be waiting whoever comes through between France and Paraguay. Whoever comes through here will meet Morocco. So that is what is to be expected. You say, and also, you say it was Mexico and Ecuador. It was crazy. Crazy game indeed. 2-0 in favor of Mexico. And also, guess what we signed? Cucurella. Yes, Real Madrid are signing Marco Cucurella there. Quite, the beauty about tournaments like the World Cup, as often the case is with the Africa Cup of Nations, and by extension the Euros, and maybe perhaps by Copa America, is that as their fans enjoy it, when it happens during the summer, contrary to maybe the AFCON that happens during January, is that football fans, as they anticipate for the return of club football, they get to enjoy the transfer business that their clubs may be doing in a way. Now, of course, the Cup of Nations comes in a unique sense that it oftentimes comes in January. But going forward, after the 2027 and 2028 episodes of the Africa Cup of Nations, the tournament will shift to a gap of 4 years, and therefore it will be played in the summer. So please take note of that. Starting, of course, 2028 will be sort of like the inaugural cycle of the 4-year cycle of the Africa Cup of Nations. So it will be 2028 and then 2032. With the World Cup coming in 2030, obviously it will coincide with the Euros, but as the Euros go on, the Africa Cup of Nations will also go on. Are you going to watch the France game in 6 minutes? Yeah. I don't know, maybe unbeknown to you, but we do the watch along for World Cup matches. And yesterday we were here for the earlier games. We did the watch along for the game between Argentina and Cape Verde. And then I could only do about 1 hour of the game between Colombia and Ghana, with Colombia winning that one by a goal to nil. So quite, it has been quite the experience doing the watch along with you guys for the World Cup. Anyways, so like I said, Morocco are through, but quickly, before we discuss how Morocco fared, who I thought had an incredible performance, let's look at the starting 11s of the two sides. You'll indulge me on the names of the Paraguayan players, because some of them may be a tongue twister for me. So, but I'll do my best to try and it's okay. It's okay about those typing errors, Maslow. Okay, you'll indulge me on the names of the Paraguayans, but I'll do my best. Anyways, starting off with France, they have Mike Maignan in goal. They have William Saliba, who is back in the starting 11. David Upamecano. William Saliba does continue to struggle with the back injury. So, yeah, but now, multiple reports suggest that he may need to undergo a procedure after the World Cup, as has been the case reported with I think, is it Declan Rice? There's another player. Anyways, so Lucas Digne is at left back. Jules Koundé is at right back. Manu Kone has come in that central midfield ahead of Chouameni alongside Adrien Rabiot, Ousmane Dembele, Michael Olise, Bradley Bacola, and Kylian Mbappe. So you can see 3 changes have been made to the starting 11 that started against Norway. Was it Norway? No, it wasn't Norway. The France's last game prior to this one, against Sweden. Yes, against Sweden. So those are some of the changes that have been made. Then autocorrect dictator. Kylian Mbappe has been named a dictator. Apparently, they call him Mobutu in the French Cup. Mobutu the full name was Mobutu Sese Seko Kuku Wazabanga, the former leader of the Democratic Republic of Congo, also previously known as Zaire, a former Belgium colony. So, anyways, Paraguay, they have Orlando Gil in goal. They do have Caceres. They have Caceres. He's called Joan Jose Caceres. There they have Valequez, Gomez, Alderete, as well as Alonso. They've gone for a back 5. So it's a 5-4-1 kind of system. They have a Diego Gomez. They have Kubasi. He's called Andres Kubasi. They have Matias Galaza. They have Miguel Almiron and Julio Enciso leading the lines there for Team Paraguay. Team Paraguay have been quite impressive. They are under the charges of a gentleman called Alfaro, while Didier Deschamps is still at the helm of France. Alfaro is an Argentine. Looks like there's quite a good number of Argentine coaches that have been in the charge of those teams from South America, because you remember Sebastian Bacheche, who was with Ecuador before, of course, when they got knocked out, he did step down from his role, as has been the case with multiple head coaches. Ronald Koeman, we've experienced it with Julian Nagelsmann, like I said, Sebastian Bacheche, they've all stepped out from their roles following the exit of their respective nations from the World Cup. And then prior to that, you had Tunisia fire their head coach midway the tournament, actually after the first game of the tournament, when they lost 5-1 against Sweden in that opening fixture for them. And he was replaced by Hervé Renard, who I think will continue with the Tunis best, men there in their exploits. Okay, so that's to do with the World Cup. But let me put up a poll question for tonight on who do you think will win? Who will win tonight? Is it going to be Paraguay? Or Paraguay versus France? Who do you think will win? Let me put up our poll question so that you guys can cast your votes and let me know. I need to go now. The plane is taking off. Wow, where are you flying to? Maslow, where are you flying to at this time of the day, of the evening, of the night? Oh, you're flying back. Okay, 1 second. Before you leave us, kindly partake in that poll question. Just let us know, who do you think is going to come through on top? Who do you think is winning this tie? In as far as that poll question is concerned, I'm sure you're going to vote a particular way. I can guess who you're going to vote for, but nonetheless, please take part in that poll question. Anyways, as kickoff gets underway here, obviously we will continue to digest the results that Morocco were able to register against one of the host nations of the tournament, because now one of the host nations are out. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, Maslow. Always appreciated for your time that you dedicate to this channel. So we are at the Philadelphia Stadium in Philadelphia. That's where we are, where France are taking on Paraguay. Remember, Paraguay are now dubbed giant killers, having knocked out German at the round of 32 to send them packing, leading to the departure of Julian Nagelsmann as the head coach for the German national team, with Jurgen Klopp in pole position to take over from him in that particular role. Then obviously, to digress back to that game between Canada and Morocco, I thought the significant difference came with how once Morocco took that lead through Azzedine Onahi, Canada became too desperate to find the equalizer that in the long run, as the game wore on, they let themselves exposed to counterattacks, which was then the result of resulted into 2 goals that they conceded subsequently in the 82nd minute. Pure counterattack, Morocco are going all the way, and then with Sofiane Rahimi's goal. So, I mean, really brilliant pieces of action that we did witness from Morocco. I thought they looked really good on the day. I think their game plan was well executed. Yassine Bono, I thought, wasn't tested too much, because Canada were getting there, but that sort of final third element of precision, of preciseness, I thought was lacking from them. Morocco obviously dominated possession to the tune of 55% compared to 45% of Canada. Canada's XG was 0.86 compared to 0.878 for Morocco, who had 4 shots on target compared to 3 on target for Canada. So the game felt in between there, largely for majority of the game. You never felt that there was significant miles in difference in terms of the quality being apart. That's why it was goalless at halftime. Then in the 50th minute, Onahi scores and it's 1-0, and then Morocco find themselves in a very comfortable position. And having found themselves in a comfortable position, that's how they managed to, in a way, to entice Canada to go all in for it, trying to seek for that equalizer that eventually never came, but instead cost them on the other side as they conceded. We're going to see a very electric side in France, looking to unlock what does appear to be a solid Paraguay defense. I'll Al Hila Kids says dance. Al Hila Kids, where are you joining us from? Good evening. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're doing okay. Tonight. Oh. Oh. Ah. Oh, Jesus Christ. That wasn't the intention. That wasn't the intention of that action. If you're just joining us, please take part in a poll question for tonight and let us know who you think is going to win between France and Paraguay. Between France and Paraguay, who do you think will come out on top? In the course of the broadcast, as oftentimes is the case on this channel, we'll also be discussing transfers. We'll be talking about the latest transfer gossip and speculation and news in regards to what's making the headlines out there, Really? That's interesting. Ian says Vertically should be behind bars. Told you to find a way to move on. Otherwise, it's not working for you. It's not working for you if you keep staying mad at Vertically for whatever he did or did not do. France, we're into the 3rd minute. Hi, Steve Harrington. Good evening. How are you doing? Oh, that was a decent cross from Olise. France will need to be a bit speedy or faster. William Saliba out there partnering that Upamecano in the French centre-back pairing. Oh. This is not the only game we have tonight, so please bear that in mind. Banokone. Michael Olise seems to be enjoying his free role, or that number 10 role, dropping deep in midfield to partake in the interplay, drifting wide whenever he sees fit or pleases. And then popping up in front and inside of the 18 yards box. In one of the best chances of the game that Canada had, Jesse March, the Canadian head coach, nearly hit the floor. Nearly hit the floor when they missed that golden opportunity. It's been quite the day. It's been quite the day. I hope I can find some sufficient rest tomorrow with all the ups and downs that ought to happen. Kylian Mbappe looking sharp already. Looking sharp already. France will need to do their things much faster or at a higher pace. Otherwise, when you're playing with a team against a team that defends with the back five, that digs in deep, plays with the low block. If they shift into a midi block. It can be always difficult. I don't know. They're telling me somebody's message is in review, held in review. Why? Uh-oh. Is that a foul on Kone? Manu Kone stayed on the floor on the inside. That is the early sign that we will not be doing the watch along for the subsequent game. Oh. Brazil versus Norway is the next game at should be coming at 4. Is it 4:30 a.m. or 3:30 a.m.? France. Here they come again. The probe and probe. Now, the thing about this back five and low block kind of system is it entices and encourages all your defenders to come through right from deep in. France are trying as much as they can to recycle possession, but thus far to little success. They are yet to test the Paraguayan goalkeeper. Some cases they will need to go from distance, because when you're playing against a team that keeps that compact shape, it's difficult to beat them. Sometimes you got to still try anyway. You got to still try anyway. Oh. Money. Is that Mahin edits? Says, where are you from? Kampala, Uganda. I'm from Kampala, Uganda. Small landlocked country nestled somewhere in the eastern part of the African continent. Like I said, after this game, sorry. Actually, the game comes tomorrow. Oh, should be tomorrow. Okay, today at 11 p.m. Brazil, Norway. On Sunday at 11 p.m. East African time, while Mexico against England will come at 3 a.m. I mean, why just not do it like today's schedule? Anyway, it's a Monday. Argentina have a date with Egypt, having grinded it out to knock out Cape Verde. Although I think Argentina versus Egypt will be an easier fixture for Argentina than Cape Verde were. Manu Kone just took somebody out. This is what Paraguay are going to be seeking to probably win as many set pieces as possible. Try and go, get some numbers on the French side. Hi, Cedric. How are you doing? How have you been? The real-time intel says all African teams eliminated, Europe dominating. 2 African teams are still in, one in the quarterfinals. That's Canada. Egypt at the round of 16, still representing. And the other 7 out of the 9 that had qualified from the group stages to the round of 32 have since been sent packing. You say, let's go Mbappe. Well, it's only a matter of time. The question is, will he be able to deliver? Morocco is African and is a serious challenger. Yep. However, the next opponent is a hard nut to crack. The real-time intel says Morocco is not African. Well, if that's your assessment that they are not African, I'll leave that to you. But as far as I'm concerned, the continental map shows me that Morocco is as African as South Africa, as African as Namibia, as African as Somalia or Djibouti. Use your eyes. They are Arab. They are Arab European. There's a difference between race and continental belonging. There's a difference between race and continental belonging. No matter how Chipes say he will be remembered. Voznia was a god. Voznia will be remembered. But what a game, Cape Verde gave us against Argentina. That was quite thrilling. Cedric, real-time intel is basing his argument on the color of their skin, not on their belonging on the African map. France coach Didier Deschamps said that the goal is to score twice. Well, let's see if they can against this low block of a Paraguayan side. Oh, straight to the goalkeeper from Lucas Digne. Then Baggy Pants is back with us. Hello, do you remember me? I do remember you, Baggy Pants. I may not remember exactly what you said, but I do. Certainly, your name does ring a bell. Raymond Kangumba says Leslie should sign for Newcastle United now. Manzambi, Lamin Kamara, keen for a Newcastle move. Well, Johan Manzambi is still at the World Cup with the Switzerland national team. The real timeline. If you want to make the same claim, then are Africans okay to claim that France is African by measure of their footballing prowesses? Look at how many players are in that French national side that would pass for Africans if you're to judge people by the color of their skin. That's why I say being European, being African, being American is not defined by the color of your skin, but where you are geographically found. So that's why to try and differentiate, they will tell you African Americans or Black Americans. No, they are Americans. They are as American as the ones that are white. If you find a dark-skinned European, is as European as the white one. It's just the rest that changes. So, think of it that way. Okay, let me go through some of your other comments as early as possible. Okay, yeah, well, the objective when you score as early as possible against a team like Paraguay, you certainly give yourself a chance, because if you score 2 goals past them, they're suddenly going to need to let loose in an attempt to try and mount a comeback. But if you just score only 1 goal, then they can stick to their guns and say, we'll pounce when the moment feels right, or when it suddenly suits us. Dembele just fumbled the ball, conceding possession in a very, very unpopular area. Okay, most Moroccans are all Iberian, European ancestry. Yes, like I said, it's not where you come from, where you plan to go, where you think you want to go, or where you think you belong. It's where the map puts you. It's where the map puts you. South Africa has some whites that are whiter than Europeans, but they are South Africans. They are South Africans. So let's go. Mbappe, that's from Enrique Cha. Hi, Enrique Cha. Good to have you back on the broadcast. Bradley Bakola getting himself in the referee's book here. What's that for? He practically withdrew. Oh, okay. There was contact, but you can see he comes for the ball. He realizes he's not going to get to the ball, and then he tries to pull out of the challenge. But unfortunately, his foot is a little too long. He catches the Paraguayan player, and he gets booked there. Do you think the second goal of Cape Verde was the best goal in the World Cup thus far? In my humble opinion, yes, Jipes. It is the best goal of the tournament thus far. I mean, what a story for Cape Verde. Real time intel says, is Egypt African also? As African as Uganda is. Cedric says 1588 ball possession. It cannot be 1588. It can only be 1288. But thank you so much for that, Cedric. So, I mean, France are going to be dominant on the ball because they are up against a side that is going to, dig in and sit in a low block, try and see if they can catch France on the counter-attack, see if they can leverage on set pieces and, things like that. So, basically, I expect France to be quite dominant on the ball. Raymond says, hi, France will win the game. Mbappe to score a hat-trick. That's your prediction. Thank you so much, Raymond Kangumba. I hope you're right. That's from Cedric. For those of you that are not familiar, Cedric is a French national team fan, as he is joining us from France. Okay. France is more African. Yes. They would not be good players without Europe, though. It's we have a saying in our local language that the stick belongs to the one who cut it from the forest, not the one who picked it. In other words, if somebody owns a stick and maybe they lose it somewhere and you pick it, they are the owner, not you. So, but that's to loosely translate the saying. So, if a player is African per se, it matters less what you did to make him look better. Those from where he comes from will always claim him. Oh, Manu Kone looking to be a bit ambitious, going from distance. I think France will need to do a little more of that to try and go from distance. But they win themselves a corner kick. I want to see a better Ousmane Dembele today, not the one that I saw in the last game against Sweden. Almost non-performance. Okay. Put Mbappe in Africa and we would not know his name. You're wrong about that. Mo Salah is from Africa. All of you know about him. Yaya Toure was from Africa, and so was Didier Drogba, and so was Habib Koro Toure, and so was Yakubu Aigbene, and so was Obafemi Martins, and so was Ben McCarthy, and so was Steven Pienaar. And I mean, I can name all of them out there that you know, unless your knowledge about some of these players is selective in nature. There I will appreciate it for it being selective. You know, Nusa Mazori at Manchester United, Amadou Diallo from Manchester United. You know, it's time for the hydration break. So, unless you do not want to know them, and yet you still know them anyway, that's what I think. Okay. Cedric says France is a multicultural country. Go with it, even if it feels like a cactus in the butt for you. Real timeline. I mean, you see, one day we were discussing. Somebody was trying to say, you know, there's, for lack of a better term, let me use this phrase because it was used by our federation president anyway, Engineer Moses Magogo. They call it naturalization. For example, a country like Uganda goes out there and identifies players from all over Europe and beyond who have roots to Africa or particularly to Uganda. For example, maybe their mother is Ugandan or their father is Ugandan, but they were born there and so they're of that country, to get them to play for the Ugandan national team. So basically, with that sort of respect, and somebody was trying to make the argument, well, those ones are not as patriotic, they're not going to give their all because it's not their country. And I was telling them, no, it's not their fault that they were born in that place and that they think they belong in that place more than they belong here. This may have their roots, but that has their step. It has their everything, you know. So you ought to look at it in that sense. Nathan Ake has part ways with Manchester City. Wish him good luck at the Turkish club Fenerbahce. Yes, Nathan Ake is joining Fenerbahce for £7.5 million with £1.5 million in expected add-ons. That's for the Dutch centre back. Then the real time you say Europe watered and cared for the tree to make it grow. Again, I say it still belongs to the planter of the tree. It's okay for them to claim the credit that they want to claim. But art is as supplementary as you can have it, you know. Okay, in Africa there will not be a tree and we will not have a stick. Again, like I said, unless you have selective knowledge about African players, I'll leave it at that. I've cited as many examples as I possibly could, and not to the exhaustion, but just those that came off of my fingertips or in quick memory to show you some of the African players that have been there and hacked it at the biggest stage, and therefore are almost known quite widely. Here, we make a difference between nationality and ethnicity. Mbappe has a mother from Algeria, a dad from Cameroon, but he was brought up, trained, and raised in France, and he defines himself as French because France is the only place he knows. It's the only place he knows. It's not his fault that he was born there. It's not his fault. We cannot put it on his head. Look at Zinedine Zidane. His son plays for Algeria, but the dad played for France. Look at George Opongwea. He played for Liberia, but his son Timothy Weah plays for the U.S. national team. Look at Desire Doué, plays for the French national team. His brother Guela Doué is playing for the Ivorian national team. So let nothing persuade you into thinking otherwise. That's the point. They need to go and take players who benefited from Europe to play for their national teams. Like I said, we cannot hold it against them for being raised where they were born. We can't. The same way, I cannot fault Mbappe's parents for giving birth to Mbappe in France. I cannot. Rashford was playing against players he went to school with in England. We made them good. That I can untwist that debate, but let me not take that course of action. Like I said, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and all his other colleagues, I cannot hold it against them for being born there, for being citizens there, for feeling more British than they do feel Congolese. It's a personal choice. Luka Zidane would have more chance to win a trophy with France or Spain. I mean, he could have played for any country, but he chose Algeria. He could have played for any of those. Look at Michael Olise. England wanted him. France wanted him. There's another African country that wanted him, but he made his choice. He made his choice. France are yet to test this Paraguayan goalkeeper, Gil. They are yet to test Orlando Gil. That's what I said. They'll need to maybe take their aim from distance. Otherwise, they are making Paraguay look like heroes. One shot off targets, 0 off targets, 0 shots on target for either team after 30 minutes played. Orlando Gil is yet to be tested. Cedric says, any chance for me to play for Uganda national team? As long as you're good, there's always a chance. There's always a chance. I'll give you an example. There's a player called Lorenzo Mavlin. Has a decent cross in the area, but Kylian Mbappe could not put his head to it, or could not put his head on it. Has some decent cross. Yeah, you definitely have a chance. I was telling you about Lorenzo Mavlin. He wanted to play for the German national team, but he soon or later realized that his chances of playing for the German national team were going to be quite few, and subsequently, he decided to represent Uganda. I wish Congo took Rashford instead. Does Rashford have any roots to Congo? It's not about the color of your skin. Leads you to belong to any particular country. It has to be that one of your parents has roots in that country. You know. So that's the simple prerequisite. It's the simple prerequisite. I can see 13 votes cast. 77% of you think France will go through. 23% of you think Paraguay will go through. But I must say, this opening 32 minutes have been less encouraging for any side. Oh, Adrian Rabiot trying to go from distance. You say Rashford is Caribbean by ethnicity, so maybe Jamaica. See, you'll be out there singing reggae music again. uh, uh, if Caribbean is not an ethnicity, what is it? Explain to us as you demystify. Explain, elucidate more. Make us understand. Help us understand. Uh-oh. Someone was impeding Mike Maynard from having a quick restart. Jamaica was originally populated by Native Americans and whites. And what happened to them? William says, you watching FIFA? Yes, I'm watching the FIFA World Cup. Skylar Ella says hi. Oh, this is getting out of hand. It's already getting feisty. It's already getting feisty. Tempers are rising. If nobody keeps their composure, we could see we could see players getting booked. Oh, you're supporting. I'm a neutral, by the way. I'm a neutral for this game. As neutral as you'd have it. Just enjoying the game for what it is. Just whopping and wanting to see Michael Olise thrive in this game. Oh, I was nearly connected to the back of their own net. Michael Olise floating in the free kick. Okay. Which team, brother, are you supporting? Oh, at long last, France have a shot on target, and that was from Jules Koundé. So I'm just enjoying the game. I remember 1998, Paraguay locked the game for almost 2 hours. It was boring as hell. Well, if that's their strategy, it's what they will execute. Then for the whole tournament of FIFA, I'm Team Brazil all the way. The Selecao, yeah, I'm Team Brazil all the way. only hoping that we do not meet France anywhere. Obviously, the only way we can meet them would be in the finals. And even be that as of it may, as a Brazil national team fan, I wouldn't want to meet France in the final. Because if anybody has our number, France do have. And whenever they call, we do answer. Oh, yeah, so Brazil. So, guys, please keep voting, keep voting, keep voting. Cast your vote. Take part in that poll question. Who will win tonight, Paraguay or France? Your views and thoughts. You can also give us a prediction in the comment section to say France will win 3-0, 1-0. Somebody already said Kylian Mbappe is going to score a hat-trick tonight. And so far, we have about 8 minutes left to the opening stanza. You say, oh, nice, Brad. Best of luck. Thank you. How about you? What team are you rooting for, William? The only team I don't feel bad losing to is Brazil. Okay, interesting. funny you say that when Brazil literally almost never beat France. Brazil is not an ethnicity. We're still discussing ethnicities. Jesus, thought we left that conversation a long time ago. Oh. In Latin America, they can do also ugly, playing with lots of unfair faults. Only Brazil doesn't do that. As an incident off the ball, Galaza being the culprit in this one. Sorry, brother, but I need to go for Portugal. For my man Cristiano Ronaldo, nope, nothing against you. Keep rooting for whoever you want to see through. I have a couple of colleagues, acquaintances, and some who pass for friends who wish Portugal well. They want to see Portugal win. They want to see Cristiano Ronaldo win the World Cup. But let's hope his own performances will back him. They had to sort of grind it out against Croatia. But sorry, I'm just educating Cedric. It's all right. Keep up the interaction between the two of you. There's a handball. But Kylian Mbappe was being wrestled to the ground. I don't know. France had better not let these Paraguayans get in their heads. They're being as physical as they can. They're being riffraffs. They're trying to get a bit nasty to try and throw the French players off their balance. When somebody gets in your head, it can easily get to you. Okay, I'm still shocked with how Tottenham are spending 200 million to buy players if they were just about to be relegated, while Man United owners are not serious. Well, Tottenham have the money. Tottenham is one of the clubs that average 500 million pounds in revenue, in annual revenue. So they have the money to spend. Remember, their very beautiful stadium is a host of many, many events, football, concerts, name it all. So there's a lot of revenue there. And in years gone by, they've been capping their wage bill within certain confines. So their expenditures are not that high. And when was the last time Tottenham spent a lot of money on a player? I think I stand to be corrected. But some of their biggest buys have been the likes of Tukai Ndombele, Richarlison, Dominic Solanke, and none of them has ever been 60, 70 million pounds. So really, they've accumulated the resources. They have the money to spend, you know, and they're not, last I checked, they're not a club in debt. So they have all the leg room. But also as they buy new players or they make that financial outlay, they're also selling some. For example, they've agreed a deal worth 46 million pounds plus 4 million pounds in expected add-ons for the transfer of Luka Vuskovic, the 19-year-old who has never even made a senior debut for Tottenham Hotspur. You know, the 19-year-old Croatian defender. So they said Lucas Bagville could leave, Achai Gray could leave. So they're going also to raise some revenue through those avenues or channels. Okay. William says, my next favorite will be Brazil. Okay. I think I'll take a final Brazil versus Portugal. Then Cedric says, where are you from? Real timeline. That's a question for you. Algorithm says Paraguay just has been spared a red card or at least a yellow card. Just stopped by to say that. Thank you, Algorithm. And I really hope that France loses, but that punch on the Mbappe arm was almost aggression from Galaza. Well, I took note of it, but because the referee did not see it in real time, and VAR does not qualify it as a red card offense, they never summoned the referee to the sidelines. That means war between us. Hello. Then I have to go for Portugal. Brother, good luck. Good luck. But for me, I would stick with Brazil in all forms and shapes. The only way I'd go against Brazil if it was Uganda versus Brazil. That's the only way. Other than that, Bakola first need to start moving the ball quicker. They are failing to shift bodies. They are failing to move bodies in the deeper areas. Paraguay, here they come on a quick counter. Very unsuccessful in their exploits. Olise nearly conceded possession. You say Brazil has 5. Then I have, okay, if they win 6, nobody can listen to them. Same for France. France has only 2. They are only seeking to have as many as Argentina, who have 3, and chasing down Italy and Germany, who have 4. Three minutes of added time in this opening stanza. By the way, it's been boring. It's been boring, to be fair. There's not many moments that you can reflect back on and say, yeah. Oh, Bradley Bakola just decided to nutmeg somebody. But in that final third, they need to be shifting the ball quicker. They need to be a bit more intentional. They need to try and shoot from distance. The level of dishonesty with football players, Jesus Christ. Clearly, you had the last touch on the ball, but somehow you want us to believe that it should be a throw-in for your team. A level of dishonesty. Okay. Yes, but the third is enough for them to be full of it, is what I was saying. Okay, Paraguay game is working wonderful. But France probably will crack the first in. Hopefully, Loro, since 1998, we did 4 finals, 2 losses, 2 victories. No other country reached 4 finals within the same time span. That shows some consistency. Yeah. Let me see. 98, 2002, you did not even make it out of the group stages. 2006, you lost out to Italy on penalties. 2010, that wasn't good. 2014, not good enough. 2018, 2022. So yeah, 4 finals. 1, 2, lost 2. How many have you missed out on? 2002, 2010, and 2014. 2010 was a joke. We went on strike. Come on. Oh, by the way, France did qualify for the 2010 World Cup, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember watching them at that World Cup. At least I remember Switzerland, I remember Spain, I remember Netherlands, I remember Germany, who beat England 4-1. I remember Argentina beating Nigeria in that tournament. Obviously, South Africa, Ghana. I remember Mexico. You know, I don't remember France. No wonder you say 2010 was a joke. You went on strike, you know. But halftime score, France 0, Paraguay 0. I mean, only 1 shot on target for France and 0 for actually and 0 for Paraguay. You know. Only 1 shot on target. Cairo says France is going out today. Well, tell that to Cedric. I don't know how he's going to feel about that. But tell that to Cedric. Keep voting, people. Take part in that poll question. Let me know what you think. Do you think France have a chance, or it's all going to be Paraguay? Do you think France have a chance, or it's all going to be Paraguay? And when you look at France's bench, it's a rich one. It's the kind of rich bench that you would, have. Germany's out, so anything can happen. Yeah, anything can happen. But France have some really, really decent players there that can change things up. Magnus Aklecho, Ryan Cherki, Desle Doué, Marcus Thuram, Jean-Philippe Mateta, just to give France a little bit of a different dimension. If need be. So, anyways, speaking of transfer news, Besiktas have reached an agreement in principle with Arsenal to sign Leandro Trossard for 18 million euros plus 2 million euros in expected add-ons, bringing the total fee to 20 million euros. Trossard is yet to finalize personal terms with Besiktas, who is yet to finalize with Besiktas on personal terms, but the Turkish side are pretty confident that they will get a deal done. Trossard is currently in Seattle and focused on finishing the World Cup. Remember, they come up against one of the host nations in 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 USA. So they have that game coming up. So uh, anyway, Everton have agreed a deal with Chelsea to sign Tariq George. Total package worth £18 million plus £6 million in expected add-ons, bringing the deal to a total £24 million plus a future 15% sell-on clause. Should Everton ever profit in the future there? uh, okay. Cedric, you say Paraguay 20% possession rate, 55% accuracy. Obviously, those numbers are going to be poor. But at the end of the day, what will matter is who puts the ball in the back of the net. Genesis Firi says France win. Cedric says let's have a drink during the break. Well, I have my bottle of water next to me, so I'm sorted. I don't know what you guys are sipping during the interval, but at least I have some water to quench my thirst. Okay. uh, anyways, so what do you guys make of that? Leandro Trossard to Besiktas. Got some coconut water drink. Okay, 15 votes cast thus far. Um, 15 votes cast. 80% of you think France are going to win, and 20% of you think Paraguay have a chance. Let's see if that chance would amount to something, but the first half hasn't been as such. Give some got some, okay. For me, the most sad thing I remember of Italy was when Roberto Baggio missed the penalty. They called him the man who died standing. I felt bad for him. Shimi from Namibia is making reference to the 1994 World Cup, which Brazil won 3-2 on penalties following, I think, a goalless draw in regular time. Then okay. Then Genesis says, sir, are we going to watch this game on your page or what? I'm not broadcasting the game. That's why the title to the video is Watch Along. As you watch, I'm also watching, and then we interact on the key aspects of the game as you watch it on your part. You know, it does not say Paraguay versus France live. No. I'm not streaming the game. I do not have the right to stream the game. In any case, copyright would catch me if I decided to stream the game. And we may, by the time we wake up tomorrow, my channel may be no more. So I can't risk that. Anyways, so back to the transfer gossip and speculation. Bournemouth's 22-year-old English midfielder Alex Scott is wanted by Arsenal, Manchester United, Man City, and Chelsea. That's according to TalkSport. Even though Bournemouth are reluctant to sell, they say the player is not for sale. Arsenal have agreed to sell, Leandro Trossard, that we've told you he's 31 years of age, but they are yet to agree to personal terms with Besiktas. But I mean, there must be there were other Premier League clubs that were interested in his services, but I think maybe they could not come to an agreement on transfer fees. Willing Q7Z says hi Willing. Then Manchester United and England midfielder Kobe Maino remains on Real Madrid's radar as they look to reinforce their midfield. That is according to Fichajes in Spanish. I don't believe that story to be true, but it is a speculation that is worth revealing to the world. Manchester City have told would-be suitors, including Real Madrid, that Portugal defender Ruben Dias, 29, is not for sale this summer. That's according to Team Talk, while Como are preparing a bid worth around £30 million for Chelsea and England defender Trevor Chalobah, who is only 26, by the way. That's according to Sky Sports. Then Roma are ready to accelerate their €45 million move for Mason Greenwood, according to Corriere dello Sport in Italian, while Paris Saint-Germain know they would likely to offer a historic fee to price Argentine forward Julian Alvarez, 26, away from Atletico de Madrid. That's according to Fichajes in Spanish as well. Then Atletico de Madrid are preparing a new offer for Sporting captain Morten Hjulmand after having a €35 million bid rejected for the Denmark midfielder. That's according to Ebola in Portuguese. Then West Ham are interested in signing Everton's English winger Dwight McNeil, 26, this summer. That's according to Sky Sports, while former Netherlands defender Daley Blind, 36, is close in on a return to Ajax after leaving a Spanish club Genoa. That's according to reports from Netherlands. Now, West Ham's pursuit of Dwight McNeil, that's something solid. You remember Crystal Palace tried to sign him in January for about £25 million, but then when the deal for Jean-Philippe Mateta to AC Milan collapsed, that deal collapsed as well. Excuse me. Crystal Palace tried to go back in with an offer of a loan deal with an option or obligation to buy, and that attempt was turned down by Everton. So they decided to stick on with the player. So, anyways. Oh, okay. We are waiting for the resumption of the second half between France and Paraguay. It's been a bit of a boring game, by the way. And I really, really hope it does not go into extra time. I really, really hope it doesn't go into extra time. Because if it does, at the pace which it is being played at, that will be less ideal. Ayan, you are back you're still venting about a Virati Kohli. Well, like I said, the sooner you move on, the better you will be. The sooner you move on from that story. If you're looking for an example, think of it this way. Imagine Al Shaki is your crush, and then Swissbeats marries her. As long as good as she is as a crush for you, you got to find time and move on at some point, or to move on. So, Let's see. Okay, let's see more. Now, Sunderland informed Chelsea they do not plan to revisit their position on Granit Xhaka deal. He's not for sale. It's not about the price or conditions. All Chelsea attempts have been stopped, and Chelsea want to maintain a good relationship. So Chelsea will not be making a return bid for Granit Xhaka. Remember, they had a bid worth £8 million, rebuffed by Sunderland. Um, okay. Some of these stories are a bit crazy. A bit crazy. Riyad Mahrez is available as a free agent on the market after leaving Al Ahly today. That's from the Saudi Pro League. While Brighton have joined the race with Napoli and Cagliari for 18-year-old talented centre-back Andrea Natali, Bayer Leverkusen defender, could leave this summer with the three clubs all keen on his services. Canada manager Jesse March says the better team today, I'd rather be us than Morocco. Um, Brahim Diaz says it's better if France qualified today because then he will have to face his teammates. That's making reference to Kylian Mbappe and Chouameni from Real Madrid. So Brahim Diaz makes history as African player with the most assists in a single World Cup campaign. That's 4 assists in 5 games. So currently second behind Olise at this World Cup. So that's Brahim Diaz for you in as far as things go. While Azedin Onahi was the man of the match following that brace that he did score for Team Morocco, while Sofian Rahimi was the other goal scorer. uh, Anyways, we are back for the second half between the two sides. We are back for the second half between France and Paraguay. If it goes to extra time, I may not be able to carry on. With me, I carry fatigue from the previous couple of days. Meanwhile, Jeremy Monga has been given permission to formalize his move from Leicester City to Manchester City, deal worth £10 million. Um, Meanwhile, West Ham have confirmed Neil Copen as their new director of player recruitment, subject to work visas. Oh. Let's see if France have returned with some fresh ideas for the second half, or the story will be the same. How do they crack the code? I want to see a faster France. I want to see a France that attempts to shoot from distance. I want to see a braver Paraguay who, once they win the ball back, look to go on a quick counter in numbers. Uh-oh. Bit of a miscommunication there between Olise and his teammates. Okay. Cedric, you said Didier Deschamps just said we knew they would do everything to prevent us from playing and provoke reactions from us. I'll ask them for more swiftness in transmitting the ball and keep their heads cool. Interviewed by French TV. Oh, he did a brief interview at the interval. They've introduced those things. They introduced them in the Spanish La Liga, where a player gives a 1 minute, 2 minutes, answers a question or two, you know, before going to the dressing room. Miguel Almiron winning his side a corner. And if Paraguay score fast, it will be a whole mountain to climb for Team France with all their quality. That Upamecano looking so far so good. Some long throw, but Maynard gathers onto the counter. Kylian Mbappe. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ousmane Dembele missing an opportunity as France took the quick corner. Kylian Mbappe set up the ball with his arm. Obviously, even if Mbappe had scored, the goal wouldn't have stood because he was in an offside position. He wouldn't have counted for anything. He knew the ball was escaping away from him, couldn't stretch his leg out. And as he prepared himself to take the shot away, the defender nicked that ball away into a corner kick, which France looked to take quite quickly. Mlodokai. At long last, Manu Kone forces some action from Orlando Gill. I was dipping in. Orlando Gill Didier Deschamps is asking his team to calm down, keep their composure. Bakola wins the corner. There's an off-ball incident on Michael Olise. Right on the money. Goalkeeper collects quite comfortably. Orlando Gill. France trying to be a bit faster in the execution. of the game plan. Dembele couldn't control that one. Uh-oh. Juice Kunde. Paraguay looking to make their first change of the game. Is the heat maybe affecting the French players? Would it not be affecting the Paraguay players too? I mean, it can be, but what Manu Kone just tried to do there, as part of what France need to do a little more often, that's what France need to do a little more often. Ah, Bradley Bacola nearly beat his two markers, but he could not apply the finishing touch. We need a goal in this game. Otherwise, it's not giving. It's not giving. Bradley Bacola misfired his attempt. Didier Deschamps is going to make some changes. Julio Enciso has asked to be withdrawn. I don't know what's happened. But he's running just fine. Or at least that he appears to be. Julio Enciso Caballero on France, withdrawing Bradley Bacola, I suspect, for Desiree Doué. The most obvious change. I mean, he tried his best, just could not. Okay. Shimi says, okay, Cedric, you say, responding to Shimi says, last time we played at 33 degrees Celsius. Hungary, we had the one all draw. Well, there's no room for draw here. At the end of the day, we must have a winner. We must get a winner. At the end of the day, we must get a winner. The fact is that no one is walking, no one is a walkover in this tournament. France have to work hard to beat Paraguay. Yes, that's what I've been saying. Some fixtures appear to be easy on paper until you start playing the fixture, and then you realize maybe it's not as simple as I thought. I feel France need to try again and get Michael Olise on the board more and more. He's been sort of he's disappeared a bit in the second half. He's drifted wide. Maybe they're trying something different. You know, you ought to keep trying something different. So Ousmane Dembele has drifted on the inside. And now Olise. Oh, how is that not a foul? The referee said play on. Oh, it's just a forest of legs in there that you must peel through. Kylian Mbappe trying to be a bit more ambitious, but he could not keep it down. How is that not a foul? Right in front of the referee. How is that not a foul? That's beyond me. That's beyond me. "64 minutes played, and we have only 2 shots on target from France. Let's see if Desli Doué will cook up something. But France's fullbacks are not overlapping. Why is that not the case? Genesis says, sir, you'll update us how the football will be. I try my best. Is a penalty claim by the French, but it won't materialize, at least for now. Miguel Almiron appears to have pulled his hamstring. I don't know. How is that not a penalty? Let's see. It has to be a penalty. That has to be a penalty. I believe there is sufficient contact. Possible penalty. Paraguay players think he dived. That's not a dive. It's definitely contact on Doe. Yep, the referee has been summoned to the pitch side monitor to get a better glimpse of that and make his own decision on whether that's a penalty or not. But I believe he's going to give it. It's blatant. It's as blatant as you can have it. 17 votes cast on our poll tonight. 76% of you say France will go through, and 24% of you say Paraguay will come through. Now, I believe he's going to give the penalty, and this will be France's opportunity. Penalty for whom? For France. Penalty for France. Okay, the referee is here to give it. It's penalty. Penalty for France. Here's an opportunity for Kylian Mbappe. Desiree Doué, just minutes after coming on, wins his side a penalty. I mean, that's... Oh. There's a claim of dives. That's not diving. That's not diving. Hurricane dived. That's not diving. I stopped watching. I only listen to you now. Well, to be fair, when you're watching, there's not much to watch. But now we have a penalty. Ousmane Dembele is the player holding on to the ball for now. I don't know if he's going to take the responsibility to take the penalty. But someone is trying to, obviously Dembele has handed over the ball to Kylian Mbappe. It's an opportunity for Kylian Mbappe to go level with Lionel Messi on 7 World Cup goals. Genesis, remember in the 2022 edition, he scored 8 goals and he was top scorer. Messi scored 7. He was second top scorer. Genesis, you say goal. He hasn't scored yet. Saved some penalties. Mbappe scores. It's a goal. Shimi says he will score. He has scored. Sent the goalkeeper the opposite direction. And it's 1-0 to France. It's 1-0 to France. I hope this changes the game. Hope this changes the fortunes of the game. I saw somebody's prediction was France was going to win 2-0. Now we need a second goal. Indeed. Well, goal, yes. Cairo said, Cairo says, I said it. They can only score with a penalty. Genesis. It's a deserved penalty. Oh. Why is somebody ducking the camera? Game on indeed. The Paraguay bus is gone. It's not yet gone. Now they have to venture forward and try and find an equalizer, which in the end may cost them. It will definitely force them to open up a little bit more. Otherwise, sitting back in their 5-4-1 sort of system will not help. He's some hardcore referee. And he calls the game to a halt. Time for the hydration break. Why is Mbappe so rattled today? The Paraguayan bus is yet to leave the park. It is still docking, but suddenly it has to start moving. It has to start moving. And in that move, it will be maybe that's the window of opportunity that France may need to find the second. But then also you ought to remember that we've seen teams win by 1-0 at these knockout stages. Colombia yesterday won by 4-0 against Ghana. And by the way, and then we saw Canada against South Africa. And those were the only two games that were won by 1-0. Sir, which team are you supporting? That's Genesis. I'm supporting Brazil. As a team I'm supporting at this year's World Cup. But if you're referring to tonight's game, I'm just a neutral. I'm just a football fan enjoying the game for what it is. You know, Cairo says this type of coaches are hopeless. What's the use to defend, sweat and lose last minute? Well, they have not yet lost, to be fair. I think, you see, when you're up against a team for which you acknowledge that they are better than you in terms of quality, you must find some odd mechanisms to try and get the better of them. Cairo, you say I'm also Brazil. Cairo, your name sounds like the Egyptian capital. As I almost thought you're rooting for Egypt, but Team Brazil, yeah. Oh, speaking of which, I think tomorrow I should be donning my Brazil jersey tomorrow, because that game comes at 11 p.m. East African time. Let's see if the hydration back will come up with something. You're for France tonight, okay? The amount of times French players are being clipped, like they're picking on them, nibble them here, pick on them here. Cairo says, I like Egypt, but they have to face the GOAT, so I don't know. Yeah, they come up against Argentina at the round of 16 next. and we see who will be advancing to the quarterfinals. Today we were somewhere, and I think I was on TikTok listening in on one of those football conversations, and then somebody said, um, Egypt are only good for 28 minutes. Beyond that, they are they are not sure. Why is he doing that? That's an off-ball incident that could yield a red card for you unnecessarily. A ball went out. Was it not obvious? Mhm. Somebody was trying to destroy the penalty spot. Mbappe's father celebrates in the stands. That's Dark Arts 101. Shimi says Haaland versus Gabriel, the rivalry between the two is real. So do not be surprised to see Haaland with a torn shirt. Gabriel likes Haaland's shirt. Well, it's going to be quite the tussle, a renewal of rivalries and battles. There's a long throw for Uruguay. Sorry, Paraguay. Apologies on the internet glitch there. Dead Upemecano. What on God's green earth are you going down for? Because you're having your arm squeezed? Jesus. 10 minutes of no more time left to play. France 1, Paraguay nil. Yeah, finally we have a yellow card, but that was deserved. Manu Kone took somebody out. uh, is clearly trying to go for the ball. It's just late for it. Manu Kone gets into the referee's books. Uh-oh. France. Here we come again. What France are doing is what they call game management. They're not trying to rush it up front. Ah, Kylian Mbappe. Referee says just carry on. Play on. Uh-oh. 7 minutes left to the 90th minute mark. That's where the Swahili man says dakika zinayoyoma. France moja, Paraguay sifuri. Oh, come on. France are bringing on Ryan Chaki. Off goes Usman Dembele. Uh-oh. France, here they come. Ryan Chaki. I think it does. Step on the ball and look on. What's that supposed to mean? Shimi says the lack of discipline in this game, especially from France, it's not good getting yellow cards. Well, it's been a game, the kind of game where Paraguay came to be physical to try and rattle the French, and in a way they've executed that. So it's only fair that they are bound to be given a taste of their own medicine. Steve Harrington says, so it will be France next win to the next round. Well, it does appear that way at the moment, but the game is yet to be over. We still have 3 minutes of the 90 to play, and possibly, um, whatever time will be added. Let Chucky show his talent. I don't believe stepping on over the ball is showing your talent. France, here they come. Oh, that's a brilliant save. Kylian Mbappe forcing the Paraguay goalkeeper into save. Je m'appelle Tupe Pibamba. Coupe, Bamba. I wish I knew French. Only 94 passes completed for Paraguay and 474 passes completed for France. Oh. Trust me, you do not want to be playing back passes in that sort of area at this time of the game. Oh. Finally, Paraguay have their attempt on goal, and it's because France are trying to be complacent, if not clumsy. I think Belgium have an easy win with the USA, right? It will be far from easy if they are to go through. In fact, in my humble opinion, I think USA are the favorites to go through. 10 minutes of added time here. Somebody indulge me. I understand it's at the discretion of the referee to add in whatever amount of time they may want to add in, but what necessitates the 10 minutes here? France on the counter-attack. Here we come. Desiree. Oh. This ball could not cut through the forest of legs. We've not had lots of wasted time with injuries. We've not had lots of wasted time in celebrating goals. Yes, we had the VAR review that may have sliced maybe 1 to 3 minutes off the clock. Oh, Besiktas, JK, Istanbul, Turkey. That's from, I don't even know how to pronounce your name. Either sir or madam. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Are you a fan of Besiktas? And if you are you looking forward to having Leandro Trossard from Arsenal join your team? Okay. France, I want to see some game management here. Rancheki. Oh, dispossessed. Quite quickly. Soon as they receive that ball, they are going long. That Upamecano getting out muzzled. That Upamecano, Didier Deschamps is urging his team to calm down, to show some composure. You say Besiktas, Trossard, new transfer. Well, you are yet to agree on personal terms for the 31-year-old Belgian international who provided an assist for Yuri Tillemans as they won that game 3-2 after extra time against Senegal, despite going 2-0 down. Ranchaki. Oh. Aha. France are trying to waste some time here. There was an incident of the ball. The referee brings the game to a halt. Jules Koundé was knocked out on his way back to defend. Oh, a slides. Come on. I can see. But that was slides. Another long throw for Paraguay. 3 balls on the same pitch. France are trying to waste as much time as they can. Why am I smelling an equalizer here? Is it just me? Am I being too pessimistic? Why am I smelling an equalizer here? Come on, Mbappe. Must be physically tussling for that ball. Hey, Mike Maignan, the French goalkeeper, wanted to act smart and nearly cost his team. Nearly. Because you can always be one slight mistake away from costing your team. France on the counter-attack. Here they come. Oh, Kylian Mbappe on the rebound, still could not put it through. And some brilliant save. Orlando Gil twice with the saves to deny Kylian Mbappe. It's not even a slap. Koundé is just dancing in the ground What an acting. Well, there's a slight rub on his chin. Michael Odyssey getting himself in the referee's book. France know they're this close. Oh, that's a brilliant stop from the Paraguay goalkeeper. Uh-oh. As miscued by William Saliba for a corner kick. Morocco will be another game. Pleasant one, I hope. Uh, the beauty about facing Morocco is that they're not going to sit back and defend like Paraguay. But I said I'm smelling an equalizer, and we have a corner kick here. William Saliba just miscued his clearance. How does somebody afford to waste so much time when you're looking for an equalizer? Is the one looking for an equalizer and you're wasting time? You know, coming up with all the theatrics. Oh, the goalkeeper corrects Mike Maignan. Hollywood should hire football players. They are good actors. Yeah, football players can be good actors. They know how to fake things. That's right. Okay. We're into the second last minutes of the added 10 minutes. Kylian Mbappe is practically had it his way versus versus Juan Jose Caceres. Then Galaza just wants to fight. He literally just wants to fight. Mbappe has rattled them. We're into the final minutes. Less than 10 seconds. 10 minutes are over. We are waiting for the referee's final whistle. And the referee calls the game to an end. Kylian Mbappe screams in celebration. He knows his team has marched on to the quarterfinals and they will be up against Morocco. It was a difficult job, but they got the job done. It was a difficult game. It was feisty, but they made it work. The technical bench from the Paraguayan side are not pleased with the referee because he called the game to an end when they had a free kick. That's the equivalent of a goal kick almost, given the position where the ball was. Full-time score, France won. Kylian Mbappe's penalty decides the tie, and Paraguay, with their haram football, are sent packing. Their Paraguay goalkeeper have sportsmanship sportsmanship spirit. Other than the team, he's done okay, but Galaza has been quite nasty. Joan Jose Caceres has been quite, nasty. Basically wanted to fight, like they wanted to make it physical. They wanted to, you know, Mbappe in a way ended up getting in their heads, as opposed to what they would have loved to have. But yeah, full-time score, France 1, Paraguay 0. And the action does continue today. That's at 11 p.m. When Brazil take on Norway, and at 3 a.m. when Mexico take on England. And then subsequently on oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. And then Portugal versus Spain, USA versus Belgium, Argentina against Egypt, and that will be on Tuesday. And then you'll have Switzerland against Colombia. And then we will skip one day on Wednesday. There'll be no games. Then we'll have a game played on Thursday at 11 p.m. between Morocco and France. And then the other quarterfinal will come on Friday. Sunday, we'll have 2 games. And then that'll be the quarterfinals. Okay. Let me go through some of your comments before I retire tonight. Okay. Hopefully next France match is fun. It will be fun. It's going to be against Morocco. Let's go Portugal. That's from Cedric. This Paraguay robbed us a better match. German was gonna be better. Yeah, German versus France would have been quite the encounter, really. Not this sort of haram football that we've been treated to. But thank you so much, Cedric. The real-time intel, Enrique, Raymond Kangumba, Shimi, Cairo, William, Skylar Ella. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Steve Harrington, thank you so much. Algorithm, it was a pleasure having you for tonight's broadcast. Iran, or Iran. I think Ayan. Thank you so much. Genesis, it was a pleasure having you around. You say Argentina versus Egypt is anticipating. I think we'll see. Thank you, France. You have done us well. That's from Genesis. Thanks for our host, Robert. I even turned the TV off to listen to him only. Thank you so much, Cedric. Tomorrow, it's the Yellow Black Men. Are you gonna be live? Tomorrow, I'll be live. Obviously, at hopefully that game kicks off at 11 p.m. Let me see if we can get. I don't know if the time will be to the dot, but I'll do my best to be live on time for that. Yeah, like others say, it will be good to watch with you. Thank you so much, every one of you. A blessed night. Good night to you, Cedric, and good night to you, everybody. Thank you for your company. Much appreciated for the continued support. It's always a pleasure to have your company with me on these watch-alongs. Genesis says, thank you, sir, for your work. The pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, the day kicked off with Morocco, obviously knocking out Canada 3-0 with Onahi scoring a brace in that one. And then Sofian Rahimi also got himself on the score sheet as they moved to the quarterfinals. Remember, last edition 2022, they made it to the semifinals and became the first African team to qualify for the semifinals of the World Cup. Can they do it again? Because up next will be versus France. You've been such a wonderful audience. Until next time, stay blessed. Bye-bye for now.